Konnichiwa. In today's video, I'm taking you to a buffet restaurant in Shinjuku, Tokyo that costs just $8. With the yen at a historic low, everything in Japan has become surprisingly affordable. So, just how much food can you enjoy at an $8 buffet? I'll be showing you the atmosphere, the food selection, and whether it's really worth it. Plus, I'll share a few tips along the way to help you make the most of your buffet experience. And here we are at today's destination, Gomaichi. The name is pretty interesting. Goma means sesame, and ichi means one in Japanese. This restaurant has gained some buzz on Japanese social media as one of the most affordable buffets in the country. The restaurant is located inside a business hotel. To order, you need to use your smartphone in advance. The prices are very reasonable. 1,280 yen for the buffet only, or 1,380 yen if you want to add a main dish to your meal. With only a 100 yen difference, it's a no-brainer to go for the main dish option. Speaking of main dishes, you can choose from 4 options: the daily special set, sesame-based Tantan Udon, sesame pork shabu shabu rice bowl, or green onion and salted pork rice bowl. Alright, let's see what kind of food you can enjoy at this $8 buffet. Taking a quick look at the selection, there's a variety of fried dishes like Japanese fried chicken and croquettes, as well as a salad bar. On the opposite side, there's a soup station featuring miso soup, consomme, and yudofu, a simple yet iconic Japanese dish made with boiled tofu. Normally, they also serve curry here, but unfortunately, it's sold out today. I was planning to save it for the end of my meal, so that's a bit disappointing. Now, with my plate in hand, it's time to grab some food. First stop is the fried food section. Here we have kakiage, a type of tempura made with vegetable-based ingredients. I also grabbed some Japanese fried chicken and croquettes. Both are classic dishes loved by many in Japan. Oh, and let's not forget the Hamburg steak and meatballs. After loading up on fried foods and meats, I headed to the salad section. I didn't expect such a wide variety of vegetables. Alongside the greens, they even had sweet potatoes and seaweed, so I added those to my plate too. The dressings were plentiful, and since this place is known for sesame, I probably should have gone with the sesame dressing. But instead, I unknowingly chose the perilla dressing. While I might regret that decision a little, it still looks delicious. Towards the back, I discovered a bread section as well. There were only 2 types of bread available, so it's not a huge selection, but it's still a nice touch to have bread included as part of the buffet. Personally, I'm more of a bread person than a rice person, so having this option is really appreciated. As I was heading back to my seat, my udon arrived. I chose the 1,380 yen buffet option that includes a main dish. And I have to say, this udon is much bigger than I expected. It looks super filling and satisfying. It's been a while since I last enjoyed a buffet-style meal. The last time was about 2 months ago when I was visiting Vienna and had a buffet breakfast. That memory is still so vivid and enjoyable, and it's making me even more excited about this meal. I wasn't sure where to start, but I decided to try the sesame-based Tantan Udon first. The bowl was absolutely loaded with vegetables, so much so that you could barely see the noodles underneath. It looked incredibly hearty. After taking my first bite, I was pleasantly surprised by the familiar and comforting taste of traditional Japanese udon. It was absolutely delicious. While Tantan dishes are usually known for being spicy, this Tantan Udon had a milder flavor, which was perfect for someone like me who doesn't handle spicy food well. This dish is a type of tempura made with small pieces of seafood and vegetables deep fried together. Since I took some time filming, it had cooled down a bit, but if eaten right away, I'm sure it would have been piping hot. The texture was a bit on the softer side, not as crispy as I'd imagined tempura to be, but it was still tasty. In Japan, buffet-style dining took a big hit during the pandemic, with many restaurants stopping this style of service for a while. But it's great to see buffets making a comeback recently. If you are planning to visit Japan, I highly recommend trying out a buffet at least once. Some buffet restaurants even serve traditional Japanese dishes that you might not get to experience otherwise. Here in Shinjuku, where I'm visiting today, there are actually quite a few buffet options to choose from. I'll likely be featuring more of these places in future videos, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. Alright, next up is yudofu. This is a simple Japanese dish that lets you fully enjoy the natural flavor of tofu. For today, I'm having it with grated radish and miso. However, the moment I took my first bite, I was completely caught off guard. The grated daikon was incredibly spicy. I was hoping to savor the delicate taste of the tofu, but the overpowering spiciness of the radish made it nearly impossible to notice the tofu's flavor. Yudofu is often served at traditional ryokan, so if you want to try a more authentic version, staying at a ryokan might be a good idea. To recover from the unexpected spiciness, I decided to try the croquette next. Croquettes originally come from the French dish croquette, but Japan has made its own unique version. Japanese croquettes are primarily made with mashed potatoes, giving them a soft, comforting, and hearty flavor. They're one of Japan's classic comfort foods, loved by many. If you can get them freshly fried, they're even more delicious. Now, let's take a moment to answer some of your questions. If you have any more questions about Japan, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them in future videos. I was wondering if you would recommend staying only in Tokyo for a first-time visitor to Japan. Japan has so many incredible places to visit outside of Tokyo, so I definitely recommend exploring other areas as well. For example, Kyoto and Osaka offer completely different atmospheres compared to Tokyo. Kyoto is known for its traditional temples, stunning gardens, and historic streets, while Osaka is famous for its lively energy and amazing street food. If you have enough time during your trip, visiting these cities would make your experience in Japan even more memorable. Do Japanese think that using Google Translate is offensive or bad? Actually, most Japanese people don't mind at all. In fact, many appreciate it. Since a lot of Japanese people aren't confident in their English skills, they may feel nervous or unsure about how to respond when spoken to in English. Using Google Translate can make communication much smoother and help put them at ease. Especially in tourist areas, it's a great tool for bridging language gaps, so don't hesitate to use it. It's not offensive. In most cases, it's actually very helpful. Alright, after enjoying the main dishes, it's time to try some natto. For those who don't know, natto is a traditional Japanese side dish made from fermented soybeans. If you're not familiar with it, you might wonder, why do Japanese people eat something with such a unique smell? But here in Japan, it's incredibly common, and I personally love eating it regularly. It's even a staple at many hotel breakfast buffets. Natto is not only delicious, but also highly nutritious and great for your health. If you ever visit Japan, I highly recommend giving it a try. To prepare, I opened the package and added the included soy sauce seasoning and mustard. The key to enjoying natto is to mix it thoroughly. The more you mix, the stickier it gets, and that sticky texture enhances its flavor. This unique texture is one of natto's defining features and what makes it so special. For first-timers, the taste and texture might feel a bit unusual, but once you get used to it, it can become surprisingly addictive. After finishing that big bowl of udon, I'm feeling pretty full. However, since this is for filming, I decided to push myself and try a little more food. Here we have nikujaga. The name literally translates to meat and potato, and it's a classic Japanese home-cooked dish made by simmering meat and potatoes together. Oh, it looks like the dish next to it isn't nikujaga after all. It's actually sausages. I must have mistaken it for something else. Once the meal is over, it's time for dessert. The dessert corner offered coffee jelly, almond tofu, and yogurt. Since I already had yogurt this morning, I decided to go with the coffee jelly and almond tofu. Both desserts were mild, light, and very easy to eat, perfect for wrapping up the meal. They made for a satisfying and refreshing finish to the buffet. Just as I was feeling full and completely satisfied, I suddenly remembered something important. I still had some of the Tantan Udon I ate at the beginning left over. Even though my stomach was nearly at its limit, I mustered the last bit of strength to finish it. By the way, if you find the flavor getting repetitive, you can add sesame seeds or chili oil to mix things up. It's these little options that make the experience even more enjoyable. This time, I went with the buffet that included a main dish, but for those who don't eat a lot, the buffet alone is definitely enough to enjoy. With such a wide variety of dishes, you're sure to have a satisfying meal. Also, if you don't opt for the main dish, you can still easily order a simple bowl of udon through your smartphone, which is great for those who prefer a lighter meal. Thank you for the meal. So, what did you think? While this $8 buffet might not be the absolute cheapest in Japan, the variety and quality of dishes you can enjoy for this price make it incredibly satisfying. I was especially impressed by the range of options, from fried foods and udon to desserts. It really exceeded my expectations. With rising prices lately, affordable buffet restaurants like this are becoming less common. So, why not take the opportunity to try out a buffet-style restaurant in Japan while you still can? It's a great way to experience Japanese cuisine without breaking the bank. If you're interested in more videos about traveling in Japan, be sure to check out my other videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.